beings in the animal realm, in the ghost realm, Ashura, and including hell. It also includes heavenly states of existence in the sensual desire heaven. But there are those who go beyond this state. Then they after their cultivation and they die, they get reborn in the Rupa Loka, the form realm. And there are those who go even beyond that, into very deep, refined concentration. They call that the formless realm, Arupa Loka. So, if we want to be reborn in a certain state, then you have to cultivate the conditions for that realm. So, to go beyond human realm, there are those heavenly realms which are still involved in sensual desire. To go to those states, you don't need jhana. You just need to observe the precepts, have merits, but you must not have unwholesome karma ripening. If those conditions are okay, you can be reborn in the sensual desire realm, heavenly states. If you want to be reborn in the form or formless realm, then you must meditate. So in Buddhism, it is we are responsible for where we go. Bhante, can I add one Zen story? So there's this Zen account about this general. So this general went to ask this Zen master, unlike you, similar to you, he asked about other states of existence. But unlike you, he didn't ask so nicely. As a general, he was carrying weapon and everything. So he asked the Zen master, heaven and hell. They say that there's heaven and hell. Yeah. Where is heaven and hell? Show me where is heaven and hell. So the Zen master looked at him and basically replied, that's a foolish question, That's such a foolish question. Immediately the general was very upset. He took out his sword and wanted to kill him. And at that moment, the Zen master pointed at him and said, "This is hell." But fortunately for the Zen master, he was able to be receptive to that, and he immediately realized the folliness of his anger. And he kept his sword, he sat down, he calmed himself down. And then the Zen master said, "This is heaven." He didn't bring any knife. Yeah.
I know someone that meditated for many, many years. I mean, he studied also Buddhism on the diploma level, but even he meditated for so many years, he told me he actually could not go beyond, unable to experience, that what we will say the jhana. So why is it that some people can experience in a short time? Some people took 10, 20 years and they never, even though they are very sincere, they try very hard. So what is the missing thing down here?
You're all looking at me.
We do not know what is missing in him. So, in my point of view, it is difficult to answer without knowing about him. If I know about him, if I can interview him, sometimes we can find
Yes.
what is missing in him.
Yeah.
Anyway, the other thing, I am not qualified to answer that question. You know why? I never meditate to attain jhanas. My intention of meditation is to achieve freedom as much as I can from mental poisons, which we call defilements. Then the other thing is to improve my mental quality, development of my mind, to bring in good qualities to my mind through meditation. I don't say I have achieved a very high development, but I can see it is working and I am happy. I never think of, even I am not thinking of attaining Nibbana through meditation immediately. I am not think of that far. My understanding is, if we do our practice well and correctly, we will be able to complete this journey one day. Maybe not in this life, another life, after many lives. So we can go in that way. I am not in a hurry to achieve jhana or anything. So that is how I see our practices. Professor, you
Yes,
can say
Venerable.
something against that.
I like to add something actually, yes, because I'm sure Venerable Chankung will agree with me, right? When we say that in our meditation we are especially focusing on attaining this particular jhana, that particular jhana or something like that, that is also not really something, very Buddhistic, right? To attain something, to attain a special dhyana or something like that, it's not sort of appreciated in Zen or other Mahayana meditations, right? You have to it is actually this. It constitutes some form of attachment, some form of tanha. It's also a kind of desire, right? So our desire has to be, as Venerable very correctly said, to be free, right? To be free from any attachment, and even when we attain something, to consider that is mine, that is me, and I'm very proud of having achieved this, also a bad thought, right? The Buddha has said that even when you think of Nibbana, right? If you shout slogans about Nibbana, Nibbana is mine, Nibbana is great, this is Nibbana. Buddha says that is also not really the aim of Buddhism. When he said that, some monks were not very happy also. Right? In Mula Pariyaya Sutta, Buddha enlisted 25 items that people can keep slogan shouting, starting from earth also. Earth is mine, the very simple thing that what people can think. Identify yourself with earth. So, even for a very good thing, unnecessary attachment is not really great, right? The meditation should be to have freedom. As Venerable said, we must have psychological freedom. So, if you sort of consider attaining jhanas is something great, right? That's not samadhi, right? Because jhanas are still mundane things. Jhana does not mean nibbana. Without jhanas you can attain nibbana also, right? Yeah, without jhanas you can attain nibbana also. And the Buddha has said that when you meditate, you don't have to consider this should happen, this should happen, this should happen. It automatically happens, right? He has given a formula, the pamadisa sapiti jayati, like that. When you start meditation, your physical control is there, and then you feel that control physically, and then mentally, then you become elated with happiness, kind of spiritual happiness, and all that one after one automatically goes. You only have to sort of practice your meditation, right? That way you attain freedom, and the ultimate freedom is, in Mahayanist terms, it is understanding the shunyata, right? Emptiness, right? That is a sort of goal that will be automatically there. What you have to do is free your mind from all types of strong views, correct, wrong views first. You have to give up wrong views first. And when you attain Nibbana, you give up right views also. Because any view is a prison. Right? Views are psychological hooks that you hang yourself in that hook. So no view, free mind, absolutely free mind. That should be the aim.
Want to say anything?
Any comments?
You have your answer?
Maybe he's more puzzled now.
You see, because I attend the Dhamma class, and then there was one guy that told me there's this elderly man. He's doing Dhammaratana, and he work very, very hard every day because he no children, so he's determined not to come back anymore.
Oh.
He has a will, he's determined he do not want to come back.
Come back where? Geylang?
As a human.
Oh, I'll come back to you.
He was decided not to come back, so he actually chant very, very hard.
Chant what? What did he chant? What's Mazing? Huh?
I don't know.
So he chants something.
I think
Maybe he want to be reborn in Pure Land.
I think he's more on the mind. So what the guy told was that because I'm not sure whether he imagined or he really saw it, that when people reach a certain level, they can actually see their past, and his mind can travel up. So I wanted to know, is it true or is it
Oh.
imagined?
So is this the same person you mentioned?
Different.
Oh, this is another person.
I never met that fellow.
Ah,
I just heard another
okay.
classmate.
I see. So what is your question?
So, is it true that the person meditates so concentrate that his mind
Can
actually travel to look at his
past life.
and maybe we also
Is
heard
it
about this.
possible?
Yeah.
Well, if we subscribe to the Buddha's teachings, that's what he achieved.
But he's Buddha.
And his disciples also achieved. Yeah. It is, we can also say that, but those are in the past and they are arahants. But it's the same thing as saying, when we read in the newspaper and we hear about scientists telling us about the Cassiopeia galaxy, some nebula in how many light years, thousands of light years away. None of us have seen that before. But one can also say there are pictures, yeah? But the pictures are doctored. Doctored not in a fake way, but because many of those pictures actually show us images of gamma rays and X-ray emissions from those black holes and galaxies and stars. Those are beyond the visible spectrum. So they colored it so that we can see. Now, when we look at that, it's quite convincing. I'm not suggesting that is wrong. All I'm saying is that it is similar to when we hear about the Buddha's experiences, or the Arahants, or the Masters. Similar in what sense? Similar in the sense that it's not the first-hand account. Similar also in the sense that if you want to verify what the scientists discovered, you can actually see for yourself. Not with the naked eye as well. You need the Hubble telescope. So if you want to verify what the scientists discovered about other galaxies, you need to start studying physics in an elementary level, then take a bachelor's degree, and then apply for scholarship to do a research, to do a master's or PhD, and then you must be under some research grant before you can book a time slot to make use of the Hubble telescope. But before you can book the time slot, you must do years of training to know how to use it. And then study a whole range of astrophysics studies to make sense of the data collected. Then you can actually verify. Most students who study physics in high school and even in universities will not go and verify for themselves. Similarly for Buddhism, while most Buddhists take the Buddha's word for it, most of us didn't quite complete the whole process of verification. Can a person see past life? The Buddha was able to do that. His disciples were able to do that. There are accounts of masters in present day who can do that. How can we do it? Yes, you basically follow the practices and then cultivate the mind suitably. You can also do that. But to me, perhaps the more important question is, what do you want to do when you see it? I often ask people this simple question. Can you remember what you ate last Wednesday morning? Most of us cannot even remember our present life. That's number one. Number two, in today's retreat, did you all, while sitting, suddenly think about yourself brushing the teeth in the morning? No, huh? I hope not. Those who did, you should consult Bhante after this. You need counseling. I've asked this of many students. No one so far has reported that they suddenly thought about brushing their teeth. But yet, although this is a recurring activity, we don't recall that. However, we would, while sitting, suddenly recall something in the past that happened. And usually, either something that is very happy or something that is very sad. This is something that is the present state that we are in. Like Bhante said, we meditate to be free. Free of what? Free of this holding that the past have of us. When the Buddha and his disciples were able to see the past life, they don't get upset because of the past life. But from seeing the past life, they are able to glean very important lessons from it. They observe that there are certain patterns, and from there come forth his teachings. To me, before we get too excited about trying to see our past life, maybe we should learn how to make sense of our present life. Then, one day, when the conditions are right, when we are able to see the past life, we can make sense of that as well. And that can liberate us and not hold us down.
So, any more questions? Anyway, thank you very much for asking questions.
One more very difficult question.
You don't give a chance to others.
Very difficult question. I always wanted to ask. I'm not
Very good.
to ask.
Very good.
Because from the way we grew up, in those olden days, people goes to temple and ask. So what's the opinion? Anything you just ask.
He's asking about the Lok
Fortune telling.
Is Bokachi temple practice that? No, they have stopped people or something like that.
I think in one of the hall of brilliance, they actually have that as well. They still have that. So sometimes you walk past, you hear people chick, 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 chick.
So when I want to say something, I have to be very careful. Sometimes these come as a tradition. Long ago I used to laugh at this. But now when I see that, I don't laugh at people who are doing it. I don't believe it anyway. And I don't encourage people to believe that kind of things. Anyway, I don't see it like harmful things to human beings, harmful things to people. There are many practices like that. People want to